Hi folks, this is Sean Hyman from Chart of the Day, and I just want to talk to you about looking to long-term trends for clues. And I want to give it as an example the Euro Pound pair. This is a 3-year chart, and for I would say about 2 3/4 of these years, there was this green uptrend line that was honored, and it hit at a major cluster of times here, and then there was another cluster of trades that went off here that honored it as well. The pair recently broke down below its 200 SMA and this trend line and held below it. I had gotten short, and it was a high probability trade because the trend was turning downward and it had broken the downtrend line. But evidently, I was a little early because it came down and then came back up and stopped me out. And so but I've still got my eye on this pair because near term it's over overbought again, and a lot of times when this upward trend line has broken, then sometimes it can mean that it's going into a sideways range first for a while and then downward. So my next point is I want to look and see how it deals with this red downward corrective line right here, and see how it deals with it on its way up because again, this is a daily 1-year chart, but if we look to the daily 3-year chart, if we look to a weekly 3-year chart, we can see the weekly stochastics kind of smooth out a little bit more. They still show that there could be a little bit more upside before it curves and turns down. So if that's the case, then we could easily reach this point here on the chart where the red line is, and see how the pair deals with it. But look, it's sometimes good to look at multi-year charts, 2 and 3 years back in time, and because in doing that, and I'll do that about once a month or so, it helps me to see things that a lot of people may not notice and see. And this pair, like I say, it appears to be breaking down. It had had this enormous run up and a huge consolidation. Now it appears that the euro is weakening overall versus the pound, but it has had a rally back upward recently. And so I'm looking to either see this thing come up to this red line area and hang out there for a while, and then head down into a new downtrend, or tread sideways for a little while and then head south and head downward. And so, but looking at the longer term trend on in this case a 3-year chart, showed me something that I wouldn't have seen had I only looked at 1 year's worth of data. And so that's why it's good sometimes, and I would encourage you to do this about once a month or so, even once every couple of months, to go back and analyze 2-year and 3-year long charts, and draw trend lines on there and draw major supports, and it gives you a different viewpoint, and you'll see things set up that you don't normally see. And this was one real-time example of one that stood out to me that had not been on my radar, that is now on my radar because of going back and seeing about a 2 3/4 year trend line violated. And so it tells me the sellers are coming in quicker than they used to, and the buyers aren't coming in as fast as they used to. So it doesn't mean that it immediately has to go down, and just because an uptrend line breaks doesn't mean that you're instantly going into a downtrend. Sometimes they can break an uptrend, go into a sideways range, and then start their downtrend, and that may very well be what we have happening here. But these are some of the things that I look for in the Currency Cross Trader service, and that I go through and analyze, just simple analysis over and above my fundamentals and over and above the sentiment work that I do. I go and look at long-term charts and draw simple trend lines, support lines, resistance lines, things of that sort. Use some simple moving averages, and scan through all my charts at least once a month. Of course, in the service, I'm doing it on a daily and weekly basis. But if I were just an individual trader, I would do it at least once a month, taking this long-term view and approach, and seeing what all you see out there. So I hope this has taught you something. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.